to Argalia. He didn't want to head to the colony or look for any more half-breeds hiding out in the woods. He was itching for a fight in a dark and dangerous way, which was only making him moodier than Hades. And if he didn't get one soon, bad things were going to happen for everyone. "Let's go," Titus said, stepping back and rubbing his hands together to ease the chill. "There's no one hanging out here, and if there was a settlement down below, we'd have spotted it. We'll head north, cut toward Mount Hood, and see what we can find." Though he didn't want to, Xander nodded. The closest half-breed colony was hidden deep in the Willamette National Forest to the south, unknown to the humans who lived around it. Consensus among the Argonauts was that there were other half-breeds, or mesos, those with both human and Argalian parentage, in hiding from the demons who hunted them. Thanks to the colony's leader, Nick, a man who was both a half-breed himself and something else that none of the Argonauts could quite pin down, they now knew of 3 other colonies spread out over the globe. One was in Africa, one in the frozen wasteland of northern Russia, and another in the jungles of South America. "Hey," Titus said with that smirk again as they started walking toward a trail that led back into the trees. "It could be worse. You could have drawn shit patrol in Siberia, like Sarek and Phineas." The mention of his 2 guardian brothers didn't lighten Xander's mood. "At least then I would have been away from you and your constant mind-probing." Titus chuckled. "You need to change your outlook, Z. Immortality? It's a gift. Shit, I'd give my left arm to have that power instead of reading my—" Xander turned on his guardian kin so fast, Titus sucked in a breath. "It's not a gift. It's a fucking curse." Titus glanced down at Xander's meaty hand pressed tight against his jacket. A dark warning flashed over Titus's features. He didn't like to be touched, not anywhere, not even by a brother. "You need to step back, right now." Xander's eyes met Titus's. The Guardians were roughly the same size, both 6.5 feet, 250 pounds of pure muscle, but that's where the similarities ended. Titus's wavy dark hair was tied with a leather strap at the base of his neck. Ice crystals clung to his thin mustache and dark soul patch. Sure, he looked human to the average passerby, but he wasn't. And his hazel eyes sparked of knowledge and danger, the kind that were a fiery combination for anyone who crossed him. Xander slowly dropped his hand, but he didn't back away. In a fight, he'd win, even against a hothead like Titus. He could take a beating like no other and still go on ticking. But he could be hurt, and it'd take a while to heal. As much as he wanted a good knockdown, drag-out bloodletting today, he didn't want it with Titus. He did, however, want the brother to get it, especially if he had to keep prowling this fucking earth for shit only knew how long with the mortal bastard. He clenched his jaw. "Watching everyone you care about die is not a blessing, Titus. I served with your father. I served with all the Argonauts' fathers. I was around when Eurandros was king, and Leonidas wasn't even an itch in his pants. And now King Leonidas is dying of old age, but not me. I'm still just as strong and healthy as ever." The rage Xander kept buried deep inside built by the second. "You might not want to die now, Guardian, but one day you will. One day you'll be ready to go to the Elysian Fields or wherever the fuck it is the rest of you get to go when your days are done. But not me. No, I'll still be here, doing the same damn thing I've done for the last 829 years, watching you all die and wishing like Hades I could go with you." He stalked off into the trees before he did something he knew he'd regret, knowing, okay, he sounded like a major pussy having one gigantic pity party. But he was sick of it. Sick of holding up his head and acting like he was all rosy and chipper at the way fate had bashed in his brain. There'd been a time, a long time, when he'd thought like Titus, when he'd actually believed the fact he hadn't yet